name is Andrew Grill, and I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers by Christmas. So I'm about 87 away. So looking at the number of people in this room, if you all follow me, I might just make 10,000 by Christmas. But it's not all about followers, as I'll explain. So before I was at IBM, I was the CEO of a company called Cred. Not News Cred, but just Cred with a K, which competes with Clout. Some of you know Clout and Cred. We look at online influence. So I'm very much an advocate of using human beings, influencers, to tell a story. And I think beyond every company being a publisher, I think every person is a publisher. I'm a publisher, you're a publisher, anyone tweeting here tonight is a publisher. So I think we need to bear that in mind. I'd like to start with a cartoon. One of my favourite cartoonists, marketing cartoonists, is a guy called Tom Fishburne. And he did this great cartoon a few weeks ago. And he said, well, you can read it yourself, Daddy, instead of a story, can you read me some branded content? And I just don't think that consumers out there, and right now we're all consumers, we've left our job for the day, actually want to have branded content. We want to have unique content. And what I spend a lot of time doing at Cred is actually encouraging brands to be authentic, rather than having, canned tweets and having tweets going out at a certain time. Actually be authentic. Because you know what, you can see through branded content, and the worst type of branded content is actually on a Facebook page that says, today is blank, and I'm going to blank. So they want you to fill in the words. And you think about it, if you actually said that to someone in a pub, they'd probably walk the other way. They'd say you're crazy. But for some reason, brands think that this whole blank strategy on Facebook is a real winner, but I don't believe it is. Whenever I talk about social media, because I'm Australian, I like to be pragmatic, and I say, look, social media is just like real life. And people say, how can you distill this social media thing down into one sentence? Well, after we've heard all our great speakers tonight, we'll go outside and have some drinks and canapes. And those of you that know each other will have a chat. And I'm going to try something, so watch me. I'm going to come up to two people that I don't know, and I'm going to see how long it takes until I get invited into your conversation. Now, it might be that you talk about your latest holiday to Sydney, where I'll go, oh, I used to live in Sydney, where did you go? And I'll be invited into the conversation. But imagine you're having a really deep discussion about branded content, and I really haven't got anything to say. If I walked in and said, you should buy from IBM, you would say, can you just go away? That's an ad. And I think as marketers and as content creators, sometimes we think, well, we've got this new thing called Twitter, we just want to poke content in people's eyes all the time. But I think with social media, it becomes a conversation. And you've got to have value to that. So tonight, when I come up to you, see how long it takes before I am able to enter your conversation and see if I have something of value, and maybe you'll talk to me. What I want to do next is show you a 90-second video clip of something that actually needs no introduction.
Hi guys. Hiya. Can I be your friend? Can I be your friend? All my friends have got like 1,300 friends. I've only got 99. Because it's cool to have a lot of friends. Isn't it a good time? Well, maybe look at some photos of my mates and maybe I'm going to be my friend more. If I showed you some pictures of my life, it's really cool, you'd be a bit more interested. I'll just back to you. Can I poke you? Can I just poke you? Can't poke you? Just go away. This is when all my really cool friends threw a party for me, and it was really cool, and I had a really good time, I did really good. This is like me at a cool party with pretty girls and cool. This is my friends playing this really cool game. You don't show me your photos of strangers. What's wrong with you?
Now, lots of laughs in the audience. I think they were nervous laughs because you're going, that's us, we do that. We throw this content out there and actually hope that people will like it and they want us to be our friend. That's why it's got to be more social, and think about that pub conversation. If you wouldn't be able to have that conversation in a pub and get away with it, then probably you won't be able to online. So when we think branded content and the role of journalism in content, think about being authentic, because people actually want to follow things that are useful. I love that one. There's another great Facebook page called the Condescending Corporate Brand page. There's a link there, lc.tlcbp. I actually met the guy, he's a London guy who set this up. This is brilliant because what they do, in fact, they had a takedown notice, they've had several, because they actually call out brands that do really dumb things on Facebook. And you should go there tonight and look at it and cringe again. So I just picked one at random. This is one, we'd like some likes to get us through the rest of the day, 500 likes to be exact. Give us a hand or a thumb and we'll reward you with even more real refreshment. That's not a pub conversation. Another one here, it was the Patriot Portraits who just kept saying, if we can get 1,000 likes by October 19, I'll give away a free 11 by 14 photo canvas. They did it on the 26th of August, the 19th September, 19th September, 19th September again, the 22nd, and then eventually they said, we didn't get enough likes for a free gift, should we try again? They're just trying so hard. I mean, this is just stuff that is just really silly. So please don't do that. Have something useful to say. I want to talk for a moment about how marketing is changing. And so this is something that McKinsey did, not the marketing funnel, it's been around for years, but back in 2009, McKinsey looked at the traditional marketing funnel and where it's going, and there's a link there to the report. But I want to introduce you to the consumer of the future. Her name is Madeline Grill, and she's my beautiful 7-year-old daughter. And this is a picture of Madeline and I at Starbucks some months ago. After swimming, the treat would be I'd get my cup of Starbucks and she'd get to play with the iPad. And I glanced across at what she was doing, and she was looking at the reviews for Pet Treehouse. And I said, darling, what are you doing? Oh, Daddy, I'm looking at the reviews because this app is really great and we think we should buy it. I said, why are you looking at the reviews? Well, Mummy at home, when she's looking on Amazon, she looks at the reviews, and if it's any good, she buys it. So here is a 7-year-old who's reading reviews of people she has never met. Now, luckily there were clean reviews, and Pet Treehouse is a G-rated application, but the consumer of the future will no longer read ads. I no longer read ads. I'm in marketing. I know what it's all about. I know the science behind it. So I look to my network. I look to my network of influencers and people that I trust. If I'm going to buy a paint purchase, a new car, a mortgage, a new mobile phone, change jobs, I want to speak to someone who's had that experience before, an authentic experience. And they'll say, it wasn't without its troubles, but yeah, I'm with so-and-so, and they're actually okay. So I think when you're looking at content, why not use your customers? They are your best source of content. They write for free, and if they really love your product, they're actually going to say great things about it. So what McKinsey said, and this remember is 3-4 years ago, was it's now become a loyalty loop. McKinsey said that in the consideration phase, consumers are so spoiled for choice. There are so many choices, they actually reduce the number of things in the consideration set because it's just too hard. Where social comes in is this evaluation phase. This is where they're going out, they're looking at reviews and saying to people, hey, and Andrew Grill, what do you think of this new phone or this new tab? Is it any good? What you want to do is get people into this loyalty loop, because once they're in there, they never leave. They become absolute advocates, and they will sing your praises as a brand, and they can become content. When I was at Cred, I was asked all the time, once we've found these influencers, what do we do with them? Well, you pick up the phone, and you almost treat them like a journalist. You invite them to things, and you have a long-term relationship. And you actually invite them to an event like this or to your office and actually start talking to them. Then you know what makes them tick. And then they'll say, what can I do to help you? And you'll say, would you like to write a guest post on our blog? Wow, I can actually write some of my content on your blog. This is amazing. And it's very flattering. I've been blogging for nearly 9 years now, and when I met someone at a conference like this that read my blog, they said, oh, you're from London Calling. I read your blog. I was like, really? I was so flattered because I do it for love. I enjoy doing it. It's my hobby. And so when someone actually says, that's really interesting, I really respect what you're writing, never underestimate the power of flattery when you're actually looking at someone's work. Now, I'm from IBM, and I wasn't going to present this, but Freddie asked me to, because IBM has recently done a study of C-suite executives. Now, every year for the last 9 years, we've looked at, one year we've looked at CEO, then we've looked at CEO. Now, this is not a mail-in survey. This is not something online. These are face-to-face, hour-long interviews with our clients. Now, we're very lucky at IBM. We almost do business with everyone, it seems. And so what we've done is actually done a survey every year, and in this particular year, and I'll give you the link to the survey in a minute, we've surveyed more than 4,100 executives about what's keeping them awake at night. In the C-suite, we've got the Chief Executive Officer, CMO, CIO, Chief Supply Chain Officer, and also the Chief HR Officer, to see what they're saying. But what's happened over the years is back in 2004, the focus of C-suite thinking was globalization and global competition. In 2008, it became business models about external partnerships. And now, in 2013-14, it's about what we say, the digitally active customer. You see, I no longer call centres. I no longer do ads. I tweet. I am a digitally active customer. And in the break, I'll actually give you an example of a mobile telephone company who I actually had a problem with, blogged about it, got on Sky News, in the Telegraph, and that iPad over there is a free iPad because they realise that I have a voice in the community. So what's happening now is We hear from the C-suite that customers are now the second most important influence on their company after their own C-suite. I think it should be higher than that, but what the C-suite is saying is we're now seeing that customers are really important. And it's the content that customers write that should be important as well. The challenge is, how do you get that feedback from our customers into our product development, into our strategy? And I think that's what is keeping the C-suite awake. But for those of you that are involved in marketing, what the CMO said was they've got some real digital ambitions. They want to look at cross-channel touch points. They want analytics, this whole thing about big data. This is affecting the CMO. They want to look at social networks to foster collaboration. And social isn't just about Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. It's about internal collaboration. In my role at IBM, looking at social business, and I deliberately say social business, not social media, it sometimes is about fostering collaboration across company lines. So you may have someone, let's call him Bob. Bob doesn't tweet, doesn't get it. But Bob's in accounts, and he's a real whiz on the latest bike that we've just produced, and it's been recalled because some kid's actually hurt his leg on the chain. And we're in a frantic mode. How do we fix this problem? Does anyone in the company know about how to fix this? And Bob in accounts says, yeah, I know, I'm a cyclist, and I can help you fix this. Now, in the old way, we would never have found Bob, who is a subject matter expert. So now you can actually use internal collaboration tools, the social technology to do that. And the Nirvana is actually bridging the internal and external as well. The challenge is, though, to implementing digital strategy. What our C-suite told us was, the number one thing was a lack of a cohesive social media plan. Now, I used to spend, I've probably spent the last 7 years professionally in social media, and I think my profession has done ourselves a disservice. When we go to the C-suite and talk about this social thing, we talk about fans and likes and followers and attribution and impressions. The C-suite generally, I'm going to be a bit ageist here, is 50 plus, male, grey hair. I'm 45 and I've got no hair, so you know, I'm close. But I think what is happening is they're saying, we don't get this. So let's assume for a moment that the C-suite, the existing C-suite, will never get social. We need to talk to them in terms of return on investment, reduction in churn, customer satisfaction, things they understand. Recently, I was pitching, before I joined IBM, to a large, well-known loyalty company. Now, rather than talking about social, I said, can I please speak to the person that runs your CRM system? Why? I think I can add some real value. Okay, we're all ears. Come in, because our CRM is our gold. I got in there and I said, what I want to do is look at your existing CRM system and match that with people that we know on social networks and use that as a proxy. Wow, can you do that? Yes, we can. But I know if I'd said, I've got a social media idea, they would have said, the Twitter guy's a third door on the right. It's about a language that we're using. So I think the fact that 63% are saying the challenge is lack of a social media plan, it's because the social media people are confounding the C-suite. What CXOs want to do digitally, how they want to interact with customers, it's going to be a digital. And we can see that face-to-face over the next 3 to 5 years is going down, call centres are reducing, and so is traditional media. Digital is the future. Gideon talked about the wireless newspaper. Actually, I get the Evening Standard on my iPad, no inky fingers, and I can read it anywhere in the world. If I'm in New York and I'm up early, I read the Evening Standard because I can get it delivered to me. I'm 100% digital. I no longer read newspapers physically. I no longer read books physically. I'm your new digital customer, and that's how I want my channel to be interacting. The CXOs aren't just listening to customers, and I love this quote. The CEO of retail in Turkey said, as customers gain more power over business via social media, their expectations keep rising and their tolerance keeps decreasing. A few years ago, I worked for a credit card company introducing social media, and back then, their KPIs for social media handling were 90 minutes. Once a tweet came in, they had 90 minutes to fix that and respond to it. It's now become 20 minutes. You think about it. I want to know why Southwest trains are not on time again. I want to know now. And we're in that instant economies. And when social and mobile comes together, it's when brands need to really worry about it. So my old company, Cred, actually allows you to look at how content is being consumed. And you can go to cred.com and type in any at name. This is my Cred score. And what we can see here is how the content has developed. I can see that this piece of content had so many retweets, and this one had more retweets to see what content is working. It's kind of like a mirror on your brand. And if I type at Starbucks in there, I would see that the Christmas cups are doing gangbusters. Everyone loves the Christmas cups, but you know, the picture of a bit of a coffee cup from 3 weeks ago is not that interesting. So you can actually see how your content is resonating, and also what content are people writing about your brand and is it resonating. So there are tools like Cred that you can use to actually see how your content is working. So you can download this IBM study from lc.tl C-suite, and I really enjoyed my time here, and hopefully we'll speak a bit later on. Thank you very much.